And now, a community service announcement. Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is on Tuesday. Chances are, if you buy the special person in your life a bunch of roses, it may well have been grown right here in the Lockyer Valley. And for local growers Stephen and Lisa Spearling, this Valentine's Day is extra special, since their Grantham flower farm was destroyed in last year's deadly flood. The family has relocated to higher ground here at West Haldon, 36 kilometres from Grantham. A rebuilding effort all geared toward meeting their biggest payday of the year. January 10, 2011, and Lisa and Stephen Spearling's life is turned upside down. Not only was their cut flower business at Grantham wiped out by the floodwaters, but Lisa and 3 of their 5 children, who were home that day, had just minutes to get out of the house and run for their lives.
Just had my neighbour fly through the door and scream at us to get the hell out. Grabbed the 4-year-old and ran. I still had no idea why we were running or why he was screaming at us until we were reversing out of the driveway of the farm, and I saw the water coming across where the creek had burst its banks, and it was rolling in like a wave at the beach.
When they thought they were safe, they saw water coming at them from another direction.
Hans actually spotted the water because I kept screaming to stay where you are, you'll be okay. And then Hans actually looked to the west and saw a big wave of water coming from the west. And then we all started screaming at the kids to run.
I didn't know what was happening until I got to the top of Toowoomba Range, and the range was closed, so I couldn't get home. And Lisa and the children luckily made it to safety, and unfortunately they had to see the horror unfold in front of them, and they've got to live with those sort of memories in their head as well.
In a few horrifying moments, the Spearlings lost their home and their livelihood.
We lived here for nearly 18 years. It doesn't feel like home anymore. Yeah, it's not our land anymore.
The expensive computerised hydroponic operation, producing 25 different varieties of roses, which had taken 18 years to develop, is gone. Now there's just grass.
I enjoyed growing roses that way because it was the ultimate way of growing roses. It was high tech. We produced roses 365 days a year.
Though they'd been long-term residents of Grantham, there was no thought of staying.
You'd never put your family back in that situation again. There's too many bad memories, and there's the emotional reasons, there's the financial reasons. There was no good reason to go back.
When the flood hit, Valentine's Day, their busiest and most lucrative time of year, was just around the corner. The flowers yet to be picked.
It was pretty hard pill to swallow because that is your biggest payday of the year. But, you know, through luck or good management, we had insurance, and probably the problem with the insurance was there was a long wait between we even knew whether we'd be covered or not. So it was probably 6 months till we started to get some finances back from insurance, where we could start to then look at rebuilding the business up here.
It didn't take long for the couple to decide that this picturesque property 36 kilometres away, and most importantly, high up in the valley, was where their future lay. They bought it with retirement in mind, and the soil was just right.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's really well drained. It's a volcanic red soil, similar to what you'd see in many other plateau areas around the place, such as Toowoomba Range. So it's well drained. It's got all the characteristics you need. So what happened in Grantham in January 10th has just brought everything forward by about 10 or 15 years.
Still taking shape, the new operation is half the size and low-tech. No hydroponics here. These roses are soil grown.
We don't need that high-tech, expensive setup in order to replicate what we were growing down there. And as it turns out, we're actually growing a better quality rose up here without the hydroponics and without all the expensive setup we had down there.
The Spearlings don't grow 25 varieties anymore, just one.
Our big day is Valentine's Day. So if you're going to grow roses for Valentine's Day, you grow red roses. Coloured roses probably only bring half the price.
The last few months has been a blur, building shade houses, planting roses and finishing sheds and cool rooms. all with Valentine's Day in mind. They made it too. Last week, 55,000 roses were trucked out.
Most of our profit will come from the Valentine's Day period, so it's very important to get it right.
Lisa Spearling runs a florist shop in nearby Gatton. For her, Valentine's Day will start at 5 a.m, with the tradies picking up their orders. The next wave is students on their way to school. And she says, while frantic, it's a time of year she really enjoys.
People have said to me, oh, it's just an American thing. It's just a commercial thing. But, life's too short. So if you can go out on that one special day and be it buying red roses or a nice bottle of wine or something, just to say I love you, it's a small thing to do, and it's nice.
But every year, she says, there are men who pop in late and just have to take what's left. And those that forget altogether. She calls these blokes the doghouse customers. They'll be in on Wednesday.
The day after, when guys come in and buy them, there's a lot of guilt buying, so they tend to spend more money.
So what does the flower grower with thousands of red roses give his wife, the florist, on Valentine's Day?
I don't like roses.
She just hates roses.
I've always hated roses. I've been a florist since I was 15, and since I was 15 I've always told everyone I hate roses.
It's one of the main reasons I decided to start growing roses.
Lisa, what would you like to get on Valentine's Day? What sort of flowers?
Oh, jeez.
Banksia coccineas.
Yeah, I love Banksia. I love
her
natives.
flowers.
I love native Australian flowers. I love Banksia coccineas. They're my favourites.
And do you think that come Valentine's Day, will you be breathing a sigh of relief and thinking, we're back in business?
Yeah, it's a good start. It's a good start. It's only one day of the year, so it's nice to have that going so well and looking so good. But by the same token, we still need to have that continual income through the year. Valentine's Day is like the cream on top, so we just got to make sure the rest of the year goes well.
And there's still the matter of the Queensland State Government's inquiry into the floods. Lisa Spearling's made a submission and is shocked government agencies claim there was not enough time to warn the communities in the way of the water.
They'll tell you all the time, it happened so quickly, and people will say that, it happened so quickly, but they were getting phone calls and notification from people up the creek that up to 2 hours before it hit us. It hit us at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got statements from people saying that they were ringing at as early as 1:35 to tell them that the water was coming. So, it doesn't matter about what people lost,
We were going to lose all that anyway.
Yeah, personal, but that's just nature. Nature, yeah, that morning we were going to lose everything. There's nothing anyone could do about that. The loss of life is a whole different matter. Nobody needed to die that day. Look, I don't think we're wanting anyone to blame, and I don't think it's a matter of, hanging anyone out to dry, as they say. I just think it's a matter of finding out the truth of what happened and just making sure that it bloody well never happens again.
Lisa Spearling says while the family may have moved on, a few valleys up and away from Grantham in fact, and is busy working rebuilding the business, there's no sense of closure, and probably never will be.
I think it'll be with us for the rest of our lives. What the children saw and what went through, and myself, what I went through and saw that day, I don't think you'll ever forget. They'll fade, but I don't think you'll ever forget them.